My military career is actually an awesome story. I had a full academic scholarship to go to Marshall University in West Virginia. And about 3 weeks prior to my senior year in high school, I saw this Air Force commercial. And so I was so curious. I'm like, let me send an email to the nearest recruiter, not expecting for him to contact me the next day, which was like a Saturday morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. He's like, why don't you come on down? So I went down with my grandmother. And for 4 hours, he told me everything that was great about the Air Force, and I was sold. My grandmother wasn't. She's like, you need to go and get your education. And I told her, I'm like, I promise you, if you let me join the Air Force, I'll get my education. Or else if you refuse, when I turn 18 in a couple months, I'll come back and join myself. So she actually signed the paperwork. After I graduated high school, about 30 days later, I enlisted and went to basic training and served for 13 years. And I was like, it's about that time, about 2 years after I started to basically start college. And one of my coworkers that I was stationed with in Japan was like, why don't you look at American Military University? That's where I'm going to get my degree in intelligence. She's like, it's 8 weeks per course. You can take 2-3 courses at a time if you want. They pay for your books. And she's like, I had an amazing experience. So I actually tried it out and I loved it. March 2008, I started my bachelor's in Homeland Security, and I had a fantastic experience. The professors were very understanding that I was in the military. The courses were very succinct with what I was going through and what my job was in the military, and I just felt like it was very, very smooth process in transitioning and being an online student versus trying to sit in a class for 3 hours at night after you worked like a 12-hour schedule. I'm so excited about my new book that was published in January 2018. It's titled Homeland and National Security, Understanding America's Past to Protect the Future. I decided to write this book because as a professor and as a non-commissioned officer in the Air Force, I realized that people didn't understand the difference between the two concepts of homeland and national security. They used it interchangeably, and even though there's some overlap in responsibilities with both concepts, it's two different entities that I wanted everybody to understand. Not just students, but professors, researchers, professionals. I wanted them to realize that it wasn't until the Homeland Security Act of 2002, which created the Department of Homeland Security and all the umbrellas that's underneath this organization, that's when the definition of Homeland Security was birthed. And there's a difference between that definition and national security. And there's different responsibilities that are amalgamated together between the Department of Homeland Security and the Department of Defense, to where they have their separate responsibilities, but at the same time, when it deals with protecting the homeland and all its borders, they have to work together in order to come to that conclusion that, we're protecting the United States of America, its citizens, its resources, and that's where they come together. I would like to tell the current students and prospect students at AMU to never give up. I know that sounds cliche, but there was many times in my life where I wanted to give up because it was either too stressful, I worked too much, or even personal issues make you want to give up. But don't give up on your dreams. If you have something that you want to do, just work hard and pursue it. And when you feel like you want to give up, just think about the reason why you want to do it in the first place. I would have never thought at this point that I would be a doctor and be an associate professor and work for AMU and do what I do for not only my academic website, but even write a book to the magnitude that I've written it. I never thought that as a teenager I would even be this far, and now I'm motivated and I see what I've accomplished. I want to do more. So don't give up on your dreams. Just continue doing what you're doing. You'll be all right.